This conference will now be recorded.
Yep, Puja, let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we'll cover a couple of development commands and we'll try to build some dashboards or alerts or reports. Okay.
सर आई
So
हैव वन क्वेश्चन.
whenever uh
सर ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स आया है एक, जस्ट अ मिनट, एंटरप्राइज अपडेटिंग स्प्लंक एंटरप्राइज इंस्टेंट यूज फॉरवर्ड मैनेजमेंट टू डिफाइन सर्वर क्लास. सर
yes.
ये सर आई कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड दिस. एंड when we creating deployment server to indexer connecting, I have
Mhm.
no documents for this topic, like the cat command, tell command. Um,
See now how you have established connection from forwarder to indexer.
hmm.
What is the command you used?
Universal forwarder to
Indexer.
index.
What is the
हाँ सर.
command you used?
Dot slash splunk add forward dash server indexer IP colon port 999.
Yes, same command you need to run on deployment server also. See, whatever server, see,
Hmm.
documentation won't be there for each server. Commands are common. Whatever server you want to connect to indexer, you can use the same command.
Okay, but sir, use cat command for open a new file और
Yes,
टेल कमांड, बट
cat command is
उसके डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं है सर, मतलब आई मीन उसमें है ही नहीं
yeah,
वो.
see, tail commands, cat commands, these are all Linux commands. Okay,
Okay.
so those things I won't provide any documentation because those are all purely Linux. So for Splunk reference, just I'm saying like to open a file, use cat.
Mm-hmm.
That is a purely Linux part.
बट सर वी यूज कर रहे हैं ना उसमें, इसलिए.
See, cat command, that's what I'm saying. Cat is to open a file. You can use
यस सर.
cat space file name. So for opening cat space file name, what documentation I can provide?
नो नो, जैसे इंस्टॉलिंग में व्हेन वी इंस्टॉल स्प्लंक, देन देयर इज लॉट ऑफ कमांड्स, दिस कमांड फॉर यूज दिस, इसलिए मैं पूछ रही थी क्योंकि उसमें ये है नहीं, तो आई थिंक शायद डॉक्यूमेंट इनकम्प्लीट है.
See, in what way it is incomplete?
Sorry, deployment server to indexer, how we establish the connection, ये भी नहीं है उसमें.
Puja, for each component, there won't be any separate command.
ओके सर.
Whatever forwarder, see, I'm saying whatever forwarder or whatever component you want to connect to indexer, you need to use that add forward hyphen server. That is a
यस सर,
common command for all the components. That is a common command for all the components.
ओके. बट जो टेल स्पेस एफ डैश ऐसा एक कमांड था ना सर, टेल कमांड, which use
See,
for.
that is a Linux command. If you want to see the logs generating in a live,
Okay, okay, fine.
that is a purely Linux command.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
and Splunk command, whatever you are saying, like documentation is incomplete, which is
Hmm.
not, there is no command like from deployment server to indexer, means there won't be any specific commands for that. only there is a single command, add forward hyphen server and the indexer IP address and port number. That is a common across all the servers.
Okay.
So any other questions you have?
सर ये use just a minute. The forward management to define server class.
Mhm.
सर ये नहीं, I cannot understand this.
See how you have configured deployments or have you configured it?
Yes sir.
Okay. So what are all the steps you have done?
Sir, universal forwarder to connect to deployment server, a window universal forward to
See,
connecting
see, deploy.
indexer.
See, I'm saying, have you configured deployment server?
Configure? No, no, sir.
So, if you go through that document, so where it says like server class also. So, why we are creating server class to segregate which app should go to which server?
Okay.
You got that point?
Yes, sir.
So that is what server class will say. See,
Which
if I
class
have
goes?
thousands of server,
Yes, sir.
see which app should go to which server.
Okay, sir.
That is what server class will say. And that
Okay.
particular configuration, you will do it on deployment server.
Yes, sir.
So any other things?
So I install add go on window and Linux. सर वो
Mhm.
जिप फाइल में है, उसको एक्सट्रैक्ट करने के लिए कौन सा सॉफ्टवेयर था?
See, you can use any of the software, WinRAR, WinZip, 7-zip. See, Pooja, you are working in an IT environment for
नो सर,
unzipping a file also.
नो 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 सर, हो नहीं रहा उसमें लाइसेंस ना, पैसे मांग रहा है वो उसके लिए, पे द
See,
अमाउंट,
for
फ्री नहीं है.
see, unzip there are a lot of free softwares.
ओके.
You can use 7-zip, WinZip, WinRAR, whatever. Everything will work.
ओके.
Any other thing?
नो सर.
Okay. See, whenever you want to search any data in Splunk, whenever you want to search any data in Splunk, you will be using search and reporting app. So, which we discussed earlier also. So, here we'll have a search bar, and here we'll have a timestamp to choose. And also, we have covered real time and relative time. So, you will choose the time and you will search the data. Okay. And what is the best practice to search the data? What is the best practice to search the data? See, whenever you want to search any data, see, for example, whenever you want to search some Windows data, see, normally if you give index equal to star, star means all the thing, star means everything. Okay, if you run whichever index equal to either Linux or Windows, whatever might be, how many indexes in, see, normally like 150, 200, 200, 300 indexes might be there in real time organizations. So how many indexes are there? Star will give everything. Okay. So, and whenever you are searching like this and you want to search some specific data, for example, you need to search some user login information. See, normally user login information will be on security logs. So if you search like index equal to star in environment, 300 or 500 indexes will be there. If you use this command, it has to search entire indexer. Means simple entire storage container. It will search and it will give you the data, but your searches would be very slow because it has to search entire your storage indexer. So to avoid that, whenever you want to search something, you can use specific index name. You can use specific index name instead of giving star. So that is one thing. Okay. See, for example, if someone asks you like how many indexes are there in my environment, in the sense in your environment, in your Splunk environment, how many indexes are there? See, simple thing, you can go to settings, under settings indexes. See, from here also we can see list of indexes available. From here also we can see list of indexes available. See, for example, if you see here, there are 11 indexes. Okay, so apart from our main indexes like Windows and Linux, see, these two are main indexes which we have created. Other one are like Splunk internal. So whenever someone asks you like, just a moment. So whenever someone asks you like how many indexes you have in your environment, so you have to ignore underscore indexes, which are like Splunk related indexes. After ignoring how much are there, you need to say that particular count. So you wanted to know, see, for example, here by seeing this thing, okay, 11 are there. So in that, how many are 1, 2, 3 underscore? So these things, if you calculate, it would be very difficult job. So from Splunk itself, we can do that one. So how we can do, for example, how many indexes I want means all the indexes. You can use index equal to star. So why I'm giving star is I wanted to know how many indexes are there in my environment. Okay. So if you enter, it will give us results. And left side, if you see this interesting fields, here it says like index 2. So this particular number will say, okay, I have two number of indexes. I have two number of indexes. And what are all those indexes? For example, what are all those indexes? So from here, you can see after clicking here, it will display what are all those indexes. And Splunk will give you only top 10. So whenever you click on this index, here we'll get a list and it will give only the top 10, only the top 10 indexes. But if you want other 100 or 200 indexes are in your environment, but this one will give only 10. So at the time, what you can do, if you want to list down something, if you want to list down something, okay. So there is a command called table. So table is a command which will list down, means which will convert your raw data. See, for example, if this is the format, if you see here, these are all the format. So by seeing this raw format, are you able to understand anything?
No, sir.
Okay, so to convert this particular raw data, to convert this particular raw data into understandable way, or in a tabular way, we'll use a command called table. See, Splunk will give you everything, and every command, whatever SPL command you are using, see, these are all called as SPLs. Whatever you will be writing in the search bar, these are called as SPL, which stands for search processing language. Search processing language. And all the commands should start with pipe symbol. All the commands should start with pipe symbol. And the command would be in a blue color. The command would be in a blue color. See, if you're doing some spelling mistake, for example, instead of table, I've given some other thing. So the command color will get changed. So if it is in a blue color, then we can say, okay, the command is correct. The command is correct. And how you can set these colors? How you can set these colors? First thing. So before proceeding, how we can set these colors? So here, whenever you log in, here you can find your username, right? So for now, I have logged in as an administrator. Okay, so here username will be there. So here there will be like preferences. Preferences are account setting, whatever. Okay, so for example, preferences. If you go to preferences, see here there is an option called SPL editor. SPL editor, which is like the search queries which you are going to write. So once you click on this editor, so here you will get these things. See, okay, before that there will be, okay. So here, see, for example, themes, if you go under themes, by default, they would have given like black and white. And see, here the commands, they have given some example command. So wherever the commands are there, it will show you in a blue color. Okay. If you do not want these things, you can go for black and white. Sorry, by default, it's a light thing. If you go for black and white, they won't give any colors. So you are not sure whether you are writing correct or not. If you are an expert in Splunk, then you can go with this particular option also. So no, I'm starting Splunk. If I want to understand whether it is a command or not, you can go with either light theme so that it will highlight you the commands or this part, or else dark theme. So the background of the SPL will change to black, but the commands colors remain same. So this is where you can choose the by default in organizations it would be like enabled only this blue color, these things for commands. Okay, so and whatever command you are using, it should be used followed by pipe symbol. You know, right? Pipe symbol.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and see if you give enter, it will give everything in a tabular format. See, and also here it throws some error. And whenever you use some wrong command or some format is not proper, Splunk will give you an error. After writing, if you search, after writing any command, if you search, Splunk will give you an error. See, it says error in table command must specify at least one field name. One field name. So we have discussed field and field value, right? So which one is case sensitive?
Host.
Sorry.
Host.
Okay. Host is a field. Okay. And what would be the field value?
Value 2.
See, in this, host is called as field. Not only host, whatever things displaying on the left side here, these are all called fields. And under that, whatever the values here itself, you can see values. What are the values under that? I have two hosts. So two hosts. So these are called as values. So values are not case sensitive and field names are case sensitive. And whenever you are forming any Splunk command, commands will work on only fields. Commands will work on only fields. Okay. So for example, I've given index equal to star. Table I'm giving once again index. So I wanted to list down how many indexes are there in my environment. I wanted to list down how many indexes are there in my environment. Okay, so when I click on this index equal to star and table equal to and table index, see it has given me 271 rows. Means see Windows, 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 Windows. It's kind of repetitive. Yes, correct.
Yes, sir.
Why it is getting repetitive? Why it is getting repetitive? The reason behind that is see whenever whenever data is getting ingested. Okay, so whenever data is getting ingested, for each and everything there will be a timestamp, right? For every event will have a timestamp, correct? At what time it has indexed into Splunk, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, for example, here from Windows index, so we might have received data like multiple time intervals. For example, at 352, I have received 352 48 second, I have received one data. 353 13 seconds, I have received one data. Like that, for each and every second or with certain time frame, I'm receiving the data. So 3 and 352 26 seconds. Okay, so we are receiving data. So that is the reason whenever you search like this, it is showing you like multiple times the same name. Okay, here at some point of time, Linux event came here also, data from Linux index it came. So that is the reason here you are getting multiple indexes. Okay, but we have only two indexes, but multiple times it is showing. So to avoid that, what you can do is there is a one more command. So whenever we say command, it would be followed by pipe only. So one more command called dedupe. So dedupe is a command which will remove duplicates. See, Splunk, whenever you write some command, okay, they will give some examples and also a definition. So removes events which contains an identical combination of values. So which will give you the which will remove duplicate values and it will give you unique values. So now on which field I need to remove these duplicates? On which field I need to remove duplicates?
Linux, Linux or Windows.
I'm saying field, not field values.
uh,
See, Linux and Windows, these are all field
hmm,
values.
okay.
So what would be the field name?
Sir, host
Index.
in okay.
See, under which category I'm getting this Linux and Windows?
Index.
So when you go with this thing, see now if you see only one Linux, one Windows means it will remove the duplicate values and it will pick the latest value and it will give us the result. So means on latest timestamp, whatever the data came in for Linux, it will pick that one, and similarly for Windows. So now we have two. Okay, we can display like this. Is it fine? Like table command and dedupe command.
Yes, sir.
So still we see a few more things. Okay, now I wanted to count means someone asked me how many indexes are there in your environment. Okay, so this is the list down. And if someone asks you, okay, how many indexes are there? So after coming results here, stats, it shows two, means two rows are there. So by seeing this particular count also, you can say, okay, I have two indexes. By seeing this one also, you can say I have two indexes. But if Splunk wants to say exactly how many are there, how many indexes are there in your environment, not list down how many indexes. So whenever we say how many, these kind of things, at the time we'll go with statistical commands. We'll go with statistics. So normally in general term, what is meant by statistics? In general terms, what is meant by statistics? It's a kind of a mathematical thing which will give you like some, see, for example, mathematical calculations. These things are not like statistics only.
हाँ मैथमेटिक्स सब्जेक्ट है.
So here also you will use the same concept. So stats. So stats is a command which will provide you statistical data. Means, for example, see, for here they have given some examples like count by action, or these things. So it will use, for example, one thing is like count. So there are multiple things which we'll use. Okay, stats, we can use the stats command, so which will provide us the statistical information. So stats count, I wanted to know how many indexes are there in my environment. I do not want the list. See, list already here I'm getting. Okay, I wanted to know how many are there. So stats count of, so count by index. You can go with like this. I wanted to perform a count on my index names. On my index names. Okay. If you run, see here it showed index. How many times are there? This Linux index. How many times? 248 times are there. And Windows, it is like 45 times. But we have only one index called Linux, one Windows, but we do not have these many Linux indexes, these many Windows indexes. So earlier we used dedupe, that is for removing duplicates, correct?
हम्म.
And
हाँ.
whenever, and this is also a wrong count, correct? Because we have Linux only one time, one index alone we have. Windows we have only one. Okay, so it will count whenever in each event, whatever the event received in the indexes, it will count based upon the index name. Okay, Linux events, it came 248 times. Windows events, it came 45 times. So to remove duplicates, you can use a command called DC. DC stands for distinct count. DC stands for distinct count. So whenever you are going with the mathematical calculations using stats, you will use distinct count, means to remove duplicates. To remove duplicates. Okay, and when I gave like this, it is showing me this is the thing. Means it is extracting my all the fields. So this is not a right way to use this thing. Okay, so what you can do, stats. See, this is also one way. Stats count of index. So whenever you give like stats count of index, it has given me like 227, which has both Linux and as well as Windows. Okay, so after removing duplicates, you can use DC. DC is a distinct count. So DC stands for distinct count. So after removing duplicates, it gave like how many indexes are there? How many indexes are there? We have two indexes. We have two indexes. And see here, if you see the column name, the field name would be the column name. The column name will says like DC braces, we call it as of index. So which is like a not proper way to understand. Correct?
Huh.
So whenever you display something to customer, the naming should be in a proper way. Okay. So to rename, for example, I do not want this name. It has to be renamed. For rename, there are two ways. There are two ways. One way is in the stats command itself. In the stats command itself, stats distinct count of my index as we are renaming it as. For example, IDX. You can use in this way. This is one way. Okay. Stats. I'm counting. I'm removing the duplicates and counting how many indexes are there. And after count, the result should store in a field name called IDX. The field name should be like IDX. Okay. So now if you see, but in the raw data, in the original logs, this name won't change. This is for your reference and it is for like a temporary purpose. Okay. So field name got changed. So you can see like two indexes are there. And what are all those two indexes? I have two indexes. What are all those two indexes? For example, so in the same stats command, you can use values. So values means field values. So field name we know. In that field name, how many values are there? In the field name, how many values are there? So values of my field name. For example, under index, what are all there? You can use values. So now it shows I have overall two indexes. And which are all those two indexes? Linux and Windows. So if someone asks you like, I need a list, how many Linux, how many indexes you have? So you can say like, okay, these are all the list. And if you have 100 or 200, you won't count 1, 2, 3, 4 and all. So by using this thing, it will remove duplicates and it will give you a count also. Okay, I have this many indexes and these are all the list. And if you want to change the name, you can use after this one, you can use as whatever. For example, list. So list, my indexes list. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is one way of renaming. Okay. Second way renaming is either we can use like this or else we can use a command called rename. So rename command will rename your field, but not in the original data as a temporary. So rename, for example, my field name is list. So here I have a field name called list. So list as I'm converting the name. For example, LT. So if you see here, my field name got changed. So here I have renamed as list, and again that list I'm renaming it as LT. So this is one way of renaming. This is one way of renaming, and this is the second way of renaming. The stats command itself, we can rename the field name, or else you can use separately like a rename command. Separately, you can use rename command. Clear?
Yes, sir.
See, and even now For example, I wanted to know, okay, see, for example, I'm running like index equal to star. See, we know we have two indexes, okay, and also under indexes we have multiple source, correct? So I have Windows data, I have Linux data, everything. But I wanted to segregate which source types falls under index Windows and which source types falls under Linux index. See, whenever we use star, it will give me everything. So it is giving me like overall I have two indexes and overall I have these many source types. And overall I have these many source types. Now I wanted to know which source type will belong to which index. Which source type belongs to which index? Any idea how to frame it? See,
No,
whatever we use now, whatever commands we use now, with the same commands we'll use. So I wanted to know what are all the source types available on each index. So whenever we say what are all the source types, so you can go with stats command, values. So values means it will give me the list of values under any of the field. So stats values of, I wanted to know the values of source types. How many source types I have? List of source types. So source type, values of source type by index group C. Do you have knowledge on SQL?
SQL.
Yes.
Oh yes, sir.
So in SQL, how you'll what is the use of group by command
Group by command.
in SQL?
याद नहीं आ रहा.
So group by is nothing but a grouping something based upon any of the item. Grouping something based upon any of the item. Okay. So here I wanted to know which source type belongs to which index. So I'm listing down all the source types. So here in source types, what are all there? Everything I'm listing down. I'm listing down. And based upon index. So based upon index, I wanted to segregate. Now run. Okay. So if you see under Linux index, I have CPU, DF, VM stats. Under Windows, we have application security system. So these kind of segregations we can do. So grouping some values based upon one field name. Grouping of values based upon the field name. So which source type belongs to which index you can see like this, and we can display the results. And if you want count also here, how many source types are there on Linux and what are all the list. So here itself you can add the count of source type, for example. So again, if you see here, I have only three values, but the result shows 216. So is it a right way?
No, sir.
So you can use DC. So it will remove duplicates and it will give you. So I have a Linux index which has three source types, means the list of source types, and how many are source types? Three source types. Similarly, I have a Windows index. These are the list of my source types, How many count? 3. Clear?
Yes, sir.
See, and one more thing, in Splunk, we have almost like 250 or 300 plus commands. And here we won't cover all the 250 or 300 commands. We will cover whatever the command will use in our day-to-day works. Whatever command we'll use in our day-to-day work. Okay. And also development, we won't go in deeper. We will just cover the things whatever required for administrator. Whatever required for administrator. Okay. So now, so till now, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now we'll do some real-time environment. See, for example, my client asked, okay, so I have thousands of servers. All the thousand servers are sending the data to Splunk. Okay, but you wanted to know which server is up or which server is down. This is a general scenario wherever you go in any kind of operations, they will have this use case. So all the servers in environment should be up and running. If some server goes down, if any of the server goes down, you need to bring it back. And how you will come to know, okay, this is down. So using Splunk, we can do that use case. In Splunk, we can use those use cases. See, see, these kind of things, whenever they says like, I wanted to know the server status, whether it is up or not. So whenever these kind of scenarios comes, okay, you can use a command called metadata. See, whenever command, by default, you need to use pipe. So metadata. So normally in general terms, what is meant by metadata? In IT field, you will be using the term metadata frequently. Any idea? Or have you heard about like a word called metadata?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is meant by the metadata?
सर ये एक
See,
सर टैग है used in
tag.
HTML and as HTML document.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So whatever you have said, okay, it's almost like equal. Okay, so it will give us some basic information about the document, whatever you said, okay, HTML document or something as a tags. Okay, this one also will give the same kind of thing. Okay, but in server environment, whenever we say metadata, especially on Splunk, so metadata will give us some default information about host. See, what are all the three defaults fields in Splunk?
Default
What are all
field.
the three default fields in Splunk?
Host और हेलो सर होस्ट और
Uh-huh.
वैल्यू और एक
Okay.
सोर्स टाइप या वैल्यू टाइप ऐसा कुछ
See, host, source, and source type.
सोर्स टाइप यस
Host, source, and source type. These three are default fields in Splunk. And metadata command works on these three fields: host, source, and source types. Host, source, and source types. Okay. So, for example, if you give like this metadata, Okay, so it throwed some error. See, you must specify a type argument to metadata. So what kind of data I wanted to read from metadata? So type equal to host. See, normally host, but whenever we are writing metadata command, we'll use hosts. We'll use hosts. Okay. So I wanted to know host information. I wanted to know host information. So metadata, I have given type equal to host. I need some information about hosts. But when I executed this thing, okay, I do not have any data. I do not have any data. Why? Because see, normally in Splunk, whatever data it's coming into Splunk, it would be stored in index, correct?
Yes, sir.
It would be stored in index. So here, if I do not mention any index, if I do not mention any index, Splunk also doesn't know from where it is coming. So I want host data from where. For example, index equal to underscore internal means I need host information from Splunk. So Splunk underscore internal, it's a by default Splunk index which give us the complete details about Splunk. See, on the day we discussed like splunkd.log will help us to troubleshoot. So those kind of logs under var log, Splunk directory, whatever log files are there, all the log files will come and sit under underscore internal index. Okay. So from here, I want a host information. Run. Okay. See, now we have some information. Now we have some information. So which will say this particular server, this is the host name, this particular server, when first time it got reported to Splunk, when first time it got reported to Splunk, first time when the communication happened between your indexer server from your forward. So this is the forward when the first time connectivity got established. And last time, when was the last communication happened? Means last connectivity happened. And recent time is when the last event received. See, for example, I'll send you a letter. Okay, I'll send you a hi message. Okay, I've sent you and my mobile got switched off. My mobile got switched off. See, it may reach you in 1 second or 2 seconds. Again, it depends upon the network. Correct.
Yes, sir.
For example, if you do not have proper signal, whenever you get your mobile signal, at the time you will receive that message. Okay, so there might be some network latency because servers would be like anywhere across the world and Splunk server would be anywhere. So there will be a bit lag also. So that one means when was the last event received? When was the last event received says recent time. Last time is when was the last connection happened? When was the last connection happened between your forwarder and indexer? And recent time is what was the last time which we received data. And till now, how many events we have received? Till now, how many events we have received from each server? From each server, that one will give this information. And this is a server information. So we have mentioned type equal to host. So that way it is giving us a host. Okay. So now I have this particular information. And if you see here, this particular time, are you able to understand this time?
Yes, sir.
So if I ask like, okay, when it was first communicated, so when this forwarder got communicated for the first time, you said you are understanding this time.
This
So what is
time,
this time?
sir, forwarder.
So forwarder only, I wanted to know what is the exact time. You wanted to know what is the exact time.
No, sir.
So if you want to convert time into a readable form. Hello,
Yes, sir.
Puja?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Did this? Yes, yes. Okay. So I thought I lost connection in between. Okay. So this is the epoch time, which would be in a seconds. So if you want to convert this thing into a readable format, to a readable format, so you can use a command called convert. You can use a command called convert. So you can use a command called convert. Okay. So which one I need to convert? Convert some timestamp with my current system time. With my current system time of which one first time I wanted to convert. So I wanted to convert this time into my current system time, which is like a readable format. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So now if you see the seconds got converted, right? So now whether you can understand like what time the first communication happened. Now is it readable? Is it in a readable format or not?
Yes, sir. Read it will.
So now it is in readable format.
Hmm.
So to convert your epoch time into a readable format, you can use the command called convert, means from one format to another format we are converting. Which one we are converting? The
Time.
time of my, and for which one? The field name. First time I'm converting to this timestamp. Okay. So now here I have one more time, which is last time, means the last communication happened between forwarder and indexer. So if I want to convert this, if I wanted to convert this time into a readable format, so now what we have to do?
Convert readable format.
Hmm. So now what would be the command for me? So can you frame the command? I wanted to convert this last time into readable format. This last time into readable format.
So convert space C time bracket
Hmm.
last time.
Okay. So convert C time last time. Okay. So if you see, it got converted. Okay. But my length of the code, correct?
Yes, sir.
Length of the code, it is getting increased. So which is not a right way. See, the code should be so small. so that everyone can understood, and the execution time also will take very less. Main thing is we need to consider.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. Hello, yes,
Sorry,
sir.
Pooja, I got a call. Yes, yes, I was on call. That's why I was on mute. Okay, so we are discussing like the code length should be minimum to reduce the execution time. So instead of writing in a new line, here itself we can write it like C time of last time. C time of last time. Okay, so in a single line you can use multiple things. Okay, and again for recent time also, if you want to convert, again we need to write C time of recent time. Again you need to write C time of recent time. Okay, so this is also a lengthy procedure for me. This is also a lengthy procedure for me. So here in this first time, last time, recent time, what is the common word?
C time.
What is so in first time, last time, and recent time? In this, what are all the common words? See, C time is just a command, but in the field names, is there anything common? In first time, last time,
Time,
recent
time.
time, is there any common? So time is a common. So
Yes, sir.
what you
Time.
can do is convert current time of, I'm giving star, means whatever characters before time, whatever characters before time, Splunk will read those characters. Star means all the characters before time, before time it will read. So if you give C time of start time, see all the three timestamps, first time, last time, and recent time, everything will get converted. Will get converted. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we'll do a small exercise like server down we were discussing, right? So we will cover that. Okay. So now see, whenever we go with metadata, I'm getting some information like first name, host, last time, recent time, everything. Okay. So here I see these many fields I do not want in my further execution. In my further execution, these many fields I do not want. So if you want whatever the required fields to display, you can use a command called fields, fields. So fields is a command. See here itself they have given like keeps or removes fields from search results. Means whatever field you wanted to display. See instead of displaying all these many columns, whatever required for your thing, you can use that one. So fields, I need host name because I wanted to know which host went down. I wanted to know the details and also in this which timestamp we can pick, which timestamp we can pick. I wanted to know when was the server down. So recent time would be a better option, because first time thing will give you like at what time the first communication happened between your forwarder and indexer, which does not require to say the server down. Means when was the communication broken between us? For example, when was the communication broken between us? So that one would be the last timestamp when I spoke with you, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we can take host and recent time, host and recent time. So I wanted to pick this server when the last communication happened, means the last event. Field commands will give you like whatever fields you wanted to display, means kind of a trim.
हेलो
So instead
हेलो
of displaying everything,
सर आपकी आवाज़ स्लो हो गई बहुत.
hello,
यस सर.
is it fine?
यस सर.
That's what field is a command which will gives you like whatever the fields you wanted to display, only those things you can display. Okay. So now next, what I wanted to do is I wanted to know which server is down. Okay, so these two fields are required for me. Now I wanted to do a calculation. Calculation in the sense, when was the recent? I'll make one of the server down. Okay, let me stop. For example, this universal forwarder. So I'm making one of the forwarder to stop. Okay. Now see, whenever we say like server down, means the communication would be up between two endpoints, and suddenly if communication goes down, that one would be the last time. Okay. So see, for example, if I say, when was the last time you speak with your mother, for example. So for
क्या सर?
example, when you so when was the last time you have speak with your mother? Just for an example.
Sir, last 3 years because my mother is no more.
Okay. See, like for example, when was the last time you have spoken with your friend? Okay. So for example, today morning, or example yesterday, or else previous day, whatever. Okay, or else at night 9 o'clock. Okay, at 9 o'clock you have spoken with your friend. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now, if someone asks you like, when was the last time you have speak with your friend? You will say like 1 hour before, or 10 minutes before I spoke with him, 5 minutes before I spoke with him. Like that you will say, correct?
Yes, sir.
On what basis you will say? On what basis you will say that time frame? You're
Uh,
getting my point.
यस सर. यू नो कि अपने फ्रेंड से मतलब रिसेंटली कब बात करी आपने, व्हाट टाइम?
So you will say, for example, 1 hour before I called him. Okay,
यस
1 hour
सर.
before I have spoken with him. On what basis you will say from present time to, you will
लास्ट.
calculate from the present time onwards, right?
ओ
From present
यस
time, if it
सर.
is like 1 hour, you will say 1 hour. Okay. So similar concept here also. So whenever the server went down, you will say it went down between 5 minutes, it went down between 10 minutes. So based upon the current calculation, based upon the current time. And how you are saying exactly 10 minutes before or 1 hour before. So you will be calculating from present time to previous time. And what was the difference? You will say that one, correct?
यस सर.
So here also same. In Splunk, whenever you want to do mathematical calculations, apart from statistical values, whenever you want to do some mathematical calculations, for example, a plus b, a minus b, a into b, so 1 plus 2 or 5 into 2, whatever kind of mathematical calculations you want to do, addition, subtraction, multiplication, everything, you will use a command called eval. So eval is a command. So even here they are giving you some example. So for example, whenever you wanted to calculate velocity, velocity equal to distance by time. So whenever you want to do some mathematical calculations, you will use eval command, evaluation command, eval. So eval, here I'm writing some diff means this one will become as a new field for me, see, simple thing here. See, normally uh, in in your programming languages, okay, so if you're doing C programming or anything, what you will do, write a program to calculate a plus b. What you will do, you will add a plus b and you will
Yes,
store
sir.
the resultant into a
C.
variable, correct?
Yes, sir.
You will store a variable into the variable called c. Now a has 1, b has 2, a has 1, b has 2, and the resultant would be 3, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now a plus b equal to c, so c will have the value of 3, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
so here c would be like a so c would be a variable.
Very
So
good.
I'm writing difference, this is my variable, equal to what I'll do, from present time, from my present time to from my present time I'll subtract the recent time. See why I'm seeing this one, when you have contacted with your friend, when you have contacted with your friend at the last time, so you will say, okay, 1 day before or else 1 hour before. Based upon that means, okay, I called him at 9 o'clock, but the current time is 10:30. So 10:30 to 9 o'clock, what is the difference? So based upon that, you will say, okay, 1 hour 15 minutes before I have spoken with him, correct?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, from my present time, from present time to, I'm subtracting this recent time. I'm subtracting this recent time so that I'll get some difference value. So that I'll get some difference value. We'll see. Execute. Okay. So here I'm getting some difference value in seconds. Okay. So see here, whatever, or else we can see, for understanding purpose, you can use that convert command. So convert c time of, what we can use, recent time, and also c time of difference. Okay. So whenever you give this thing, just it will convert and it will show you. See, from my forwarder, especially this forwarder, to my indexer, when was the last communication happened? It happened on 9/17 at 4:40. And what is the difference value? So here it will give us in a different format, because the difference will have only the seconds, and by default Splunk will add 1970. So this one we should not consider. So for now it is 6 minutes, and here 32 seconds difference. Okay. So now I got some value. I got some value. Now we'll say, if, so how you will use in if condition in programming language?
Let
how
us
you will use if condition in programming language? Sorry, either this or that.
uh,
If else.
no. Yes, sir. Conditional program.
Okay, so conditional thing. So if command means if conditions and whatever conditions you are writing, you have to use those eval only. You have those things under eval only. So, so eval, I'm creating a new field called status equal if condition. If my difference value here I'll give some here I'll get some resultant right after subtraction of this present and recent. You'll correct right 1 hour or 5 minutes or 10 minutes like that. You will get difference right.
Yes, sir.
You understand this point?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Pooja.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
हेलो यस सर आवाज आ रही है हेलो 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 हेलो
You are audible now.
यस सर
Hello. Okay. So you got this difference right. How we have calculated.
यस सर
So if my difference value is greater than, for example, I'm giving like a seconds. So we are doing in a seconds. So if the difference value is greater than 3 seconds, means 300 seconds, which is like 5 minutes, which is like 5 minutes. If it is a greater than, or you can use less than also. If the difference is less than 300, consider the server is up. So whatever data you are parsing manually, you can put it in inverted commas. You can put it in inverted commas. Okay. Or else, see if this is the condition met, give me this result. If not, say down. Okay. I'm saying here whatever from present time to recent time we are subtracting and we are creating a field called difference, and the difference time is less than 300 seconds means say me that server is up, and if this condition does not meet, say me as down. Execute. Okay, if you see here, this is the host name. Okay, so there is a difference value of 712 seconds, 712 seconds, so which is like less than 300 condition does not met, so it gave me down status. Clear?
यस सर
Is it clear? Hello,
यस सर हेलो यस सर
Pooja, able to hear me?
यस सर हेलो
Hello,
हेलो
Pooja, I could not hear you. clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now, see, few customers, they will say like, okay, I do not want to display the up status. Okay, okay. See, directly whenever you wanted to display something in a tabular format, you can use a table command. So I wanted to display host and the status. So I don't want to display the difference and all. So just I wanted to display host and status. So this particular server is in down state. This particular
Yes, sir.
server is in up state. Okay. So these things only we can display. See, and some customers, they will say like, no, I do not want to display, I do not want it to display up status. I wanted to display only the down status. I wanted to display only down status. So at the time, what we can do, there is a search command, which will use to filter, which will use to filter some specific thing, which will use to filter some specific thing. So search which one I wanted to filter in my status field. If the value contains down, display only that particular part. Display only that particular part. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So like that also you can do. So some customers ask like, I need only down information. Okay, and some customers, they will say like, no, I want complete information. I wanted to see which one is up, which one is down. So we can display like that. And even if you want like coloring, if you want coloring, see, for example, here next to status, there is a paint symbol here. If you click on that paint symbol, you will get color option. See, either scale like 0, 1 to 3 range you can go, or see, either scale like 1 to 3 range equals values. So for example, here my field contains values. So we'll go with values. Define rules. If cell value contains down, then give me red color, up. Okay, and again, if cell value contains up, then give me green color, green color. So like this also you can. Puja, 2 minutes, I'll be back. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, okay.
Puja, so is this clear? So like that you can display. This is one kind of a use case wherein every organization, they will use the same format. So they wanted to know whenever the server goes down, they wanted to know the status. So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So after doing this only, we can go for dashboards, alerts, and reports. After after writing the programming, you will see okay whether the results are proper or not. Whether the results are proper or not, then you can go ahead with dashboard. So here after executing the query, you'll get a option here like save. So after executing a query, you will get a option to save. Here you'll have a option to save. So save as either report, dashboard, or alert. So this thing you'll get a question in your certification. So after executing a SPL, what are all the ways which we can save it? What are all the ways we can save it? So you will get some kind of a check boxes. So one is report, alert, and dashboard. Report, alert, and dashboard. For example, dashboard. Click on dashboard. It will ask whether it is a new dashboard or existing. So whenever you are doing for the first time, it would be like a new, and dashboard title you can give. For example, I'm giving like infra monitoring. For example, I'm naming it as a infra monitoring. Okay, and if you want, we can give dashboard description like why we are creating this dashboard. These things we can give it here. Okay, and dashboard permissions. So who can see my dashboard? Who can see my dashboard? So for now it is private. See, once everything is done, means normally developer they will create a dashboard, they will do some testing, everything, and once the testing is done, then they will share with everyone. Then they will share with everyone. Until that time, you can keep it in a private one. You can keep it in a private one. So once every development is completed, then you can publish it. And dashboard title, it's an optional one. So we'll cover in detail about panel title, everything. Okay, and we are saving it in a tabular format. Click on save, view dashboard. So our dashboard will display like this. So this is the host which is in downstate, and these are all servers are in upstate. So now we'll have a monitoring team in our organizations. They will monitor these dashboards and they will say, okay, this server is down. So they will start working on that. They'll start working on that. So in dashboard also, again we'll see like how to edit, what are all things can be done in the dashboard. We'll see that point tomorrow. So for now, is it clear? Like how you can write a SQL query and how to save it as a dashboard? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Hello. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, Pooja, then we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow we'll pick few more use cases, or else with the same use case, means with the same use case we are using different commands. Okay, with the same use case, how we can display the graphs in a multiple ways, and how we can create an email alert, how we can create a report. So those things and all tomorrow we'll cover. Okay, and this dashboard also, like how to edit this dashboard. For example, if I want to do some existing changes, how to edit. So these things and all will do it tomorrow. Okay.
ओके सर एप्स वाले डॉक्यूमेंट सेंड किए क्या आपने हाउ टू क्रिएट एप्स
No, for apps I do not have documentation because that is a kind of a real-time one. So you can get the recorded video. I do not have
सर
documentation for that.
ओके सर
So if you want Monday, we can do once again on your laptop, installing apps, these things.
ओके
You can share your screen. I'll guide you.
ओके सर
Okay. So any other things, Pooja? If not, we'll close the call.
तो कुछ तो नहीं बस मुझे ये फॉरवर्ड मैनेजमेंट टू डिफाइन सर्वर क्लास इसमें थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है बिकॉज आई ओपन माय स्प्लंक एंड गो टू फॉरवर्ड मैनेजमेंट they cannot open only message learn more
So means your forwarders are not reporting to your deployment server.
yes sir
So your forwarders are not reporting to deployment server. So first thing, you verify the connectivity, whether it is working fine or not.
okay sir
Okay, fine, not a problem. We can do it on Monday. So we'll do what we'll do is, okay, so we'll establish connection, we'll deploy apps, we'll create server class, everything. But make sure WinHCP is installed on your laptop.
win cp
Okay,
yes sir
WinSCP, WINSCP.
सर आप
WinHCP should be ready.
निर्मला मैम को आप बोल दीजिए मैं बहुत बार बोल चुकी हूँ वीडियो के लिए
So video, I do not have videos, so they are recording these sessions. Okay, might be they have to share because nothing which is getting stored in my local machine.
यस सर
So you can take videos from her only. I do not have access for that, to be frank.
ओके सर
Okay,
सर वन मोर थिंग सर व्हेन वी क्रिएट
okay, Pooja.
इंस्टेंस
Then
इन
see you tomorrow.
AWS हेलो ओके सर
Yes, yes. Tell me, AWS.
सर उसका डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं है क्या
Hello.
मतलब हेलो
No, no. See, that is like AWS one, which see we are using those things. That's it for our reference. Okay, instead of going with VMware, we are using that one.
ओके सर ओके ओके सर थैंक यू
Okay. Thanks, Pooja. Okay, then see you on Monday. Take care. Bye bye.
बाय बाय सर बाय बाय